Hey, this is Amy with Creative Catapult Coaching,
And Megan with Focus Like a Mother.
and this is the Control Alt Think podcast, season 2,
Conversations with Neurodivergent Minds.
that have varying abilities to remember what we say at the start of this, apparently.
Yes. Uh, what what was our topic though today?
Our topic is not actually executive function, although it is related. I was out and about and saw something that triggered a whole set of associations. And so I was thinking about association maps in my head and sort of patterns. But then kind of like thought bubbles or bubbles of thought or meaning in our head, because I've also been opening questions with clients this week of like, if you could be an animal, what would you be and why? And then circling back to how does that relate to what you want to talk about today? And I really like it because it gets people out of the logical linear into sort of that more right brain, more holistic working and, connecting thoughts in unusual ways. And it also typically makes people laugh and amuse and just help the nervous system relax because it's a fun and engaging way of thinking about something instead of this rigid 1, 2, 3, 3.2 A, B
Hey, hey.
that my brain, I was
Leave
gonna say my brain
leave my
idealizes
very
that.
structured brain out of this.
Yeah, but they're different. Even also like to flip into some of that play space. It just hits a different set of your nervous system.
Yeah.
So anyway, long way of going back to say that in thought bubbles or, associative thoughts, my brain was like, what animal would I be today if I were to answer that question? And it was octopuses because they have independently functioning brains.
Is it
And so I
octopuses
can,
or starfish? Sorry.
octopus is what I meant. I may have said
Okay.
starfish, but
Okay.
my executive function is under a lot of personal stress right now. So that's why um I was struck by the interest of, something like 4 steps removed from the direct stressor actually caused me to burst into tears by association while I was out driving earlier today. And I was just like, I was able to trace the pattern and go, oh, I know exactly what kind of made me super emotional here. Fascinating, and that was kind of where the octopus or starfish also then was, that related thought. And so, very much the ADHD thoughts leaping and connecting in very creative ways, because my brain was having this whole processes thing over here and, trying to think about or not think about this other stressor over here. My brain is just processing all of these independent trains of thought, very much like the arms of an octopus kind of operate in their own space,
Mhm.
and occasionally the central part of the octopus brain, I guess, looks at all of it and does some other kind of coordination with it.
Hmm. Interesting.
Somebody once
Yeah,
got
my brain
kind
is like, I need to come up with an animal.
of,
The since I went outside in between lunch and our call here to record, and I think I showed you the pictures of all the butterflies that landed on me the other day when I
Mhm.
was trying to do yard work. So one of them, another one, the same kind, the hackberry emperor one was out there, and I walked past it. So I guess if I had to pick an animal, I don't know if it's relevant for today or just sort of it's a very like overused, maybe cliche is the word, but the butterfly, and I suppose it's because while yes, it does turn to mush, primordial ooze at one point, it is able to become something more or different or, um, you know, goes from a caterpillar to being able to fly. And I guess both forms can deceive enemies and all of that jazz. But
I
so
want to
since
know
I
what
saw a
enemies,
butterfly today,
yeah,
I'm
I want
going
to
with the
know what
butterfly.
enemies you're deceiving.
Ooh, squirrel.
So, but I think it's interesting associative thought patterns, and how they show up, and very much a part of that neurodivergent enhancement of even enhanced pattern recognition or enhanced associative
Like,
thinking.
yeah, you can like connect the dots. It's kind of like when a neurodivergent person has a conversation and a neurotypical person, the conversation goes like this. And a neurodivergent person, it's like, well, and then there's this and this and this, and then it's like, how did we get to this topic over here? But you can actually connect back through all of the topics, and to your brain, they're all connected. Um,
Exactly. And again, a different kind of thinking. And sometimes it's interesting to sit down and kind of mind map some of those associations out and just kind of look at the meanings that your brain creates between different ideas and themes.
yeah, it's an interesting perspective shift. And then it also brings appreciation instead of frustration.
It really can. But do you have I'm curious if there's anything in your life where it's like you started at one place and then worked through the associations and go, is that really what made me upset?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of probably more self-aware about it now, especially as a coach. So I'm always
Right.
like, well, wait, why is this thing here bothering me? So lately it's been, I'll sit and think, is something connected to something deeper? Is it connected to, um, like I've been taught whenever something feels uncomfortable in terms of a situation, it's usually because something about that situation is at odds with your values or beliefs. And so lately it's been a lot of, well, how more me searching for how things are connected, trying to figure out why something might make me feel upset or think a couple weeks ago, you and I, not on here, but just in talking, talked about like the ick, something. It's like, I don't know why I just don't like that, whatever it is. And then I'm going through my brain, like, what is it about that that I don't like? Um, and trying to figure out, are there like connections that my brain's aware of that I was not even conscious of? So it kind of goes, for me, it ties into the deeper like values, beliefs, and biases. That then I'm like, oh. Wait, is that a me thing? That's probably a me thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And again, so much of this can be taken on so many levels. So my bit was that maybe kind of concentrate on this topic today is um I was stopped at traffic at light because there was construction and there was a police officer directing traffic. And the associative chain was that my grandfather had been military police and often directed traffic. And my dad is not, it made me think of my dad and just a lot of stuff going on. And I was like, so there the chain was relatively clear, but it was like, okay, I had no expectation that, I would have gotten like this emotional flood seeing somebody direct traffic.
yeah, it's interesting. So here's the brain, the little brain chain that just went through my head. So one of my kids has been really wanting to watch Inside Out and Inside Out 2. And there's this teeny tiny portion of the movie where this like granny emotion like appears in headquarters, and then anxiety's like, no nostalgia, you're not supposed to be here yet. Um, So part of me is going, oh, I wonder what nostalgia and reminiscing is and past experience then is like tied to. So, like, you had the experience of an officer directing traffic and the emotions. So there's past experience there. I've had ones where, for whatever reason, my brother is a performs in a show, and it's a like a family oriented show. And long before I had kids, the anticipatory, like, I would cry every time I went to his show. Like, they would ask, little kids from the audience to come out and go out with the performers and stuff on the stage and stuff. And then even once I had kids, then I still was like, why? Always. Like, why does this make me emotional? And I'm still not entirely sure. I think it was anticipatory for a long time of, oh, I wish I had kids so that my kids could go, be on the stage with their uncle. And then once I had kids, I was like, I don't know, like, why is this making me emotional? Like, it's just, or maybe there's something else connected that I haven't fully figured it out, but that one always makes me emotional. And then other weird things that are like sensory, do you have like smells or tastes or certain foods or things that your brain associates with things?
Other than an allergic reaction one time, no, so I refuse to eat marshmallow fluff. No, I know that
Fair
other
point.
people do, even when I've now, um, so I'm severely allergic to eggs, have been all of my life. In theory, most of it's better, but like I've had people try and get me to eat like tofu-based mayo, and by association, I can't
Hmm.
do it. Or soy-based eggnog, I cannot. I mean, I can see the ingredients. I know this is not,
Yeah.
but by association, I've got such a strong self-preservation instinct here. And, it is kind of related to memory, but
See,
a
it's
very
just,
different kind of memory.
I don't know, I just find the like chain, the way our brains connect all the pattern recognition and then the chaining. So, I don't know why, but I think it's when we were on vacation and we were driving, so we stopped at, the gas station to get snacks and stuff, that my husband bought a a bottle of Coke, and usually we would get fountain drinks. And fountain drink soda tastes, soda, Coke, pop, whatever, tastes different than from a bottle or from a can.
Mhm.
And so I remember we had writing prompts in eighth grade that our teacher gave us to write. We had to write this, like, throughout the whole year. We were basically writing a book about us. And one of the chapters was like something you associate with a memory. And I said, like drinking Pepsi on vacation, because it was the time that like we were allowed to have more pop and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But then I realized just this last vacation when we stopped was Coca-Cola. So my house growing up was a Pepsi household.
Uh-huh.
And my grandmother's house, they always had Coca-Cola, but it was bottled Coca-Cola. And I hadn't had bottled Coca-Cola in a really long time. And we got a bottle a couple weeks ago, driving, and I'm tasting it and I'm going, like, I know exactly, like, and my husband joked about, manufacturing consistency and whatnot. Like,
Uh-huh.
it tastes different in a bottle than a fountain drink and stuff. But all I could say was, Grandma always had Coke in her house. Like, that's all my brain could think of was like, nothing to do with anything else going on, but because I drank Coke from a bottle, it was like, oh yeah, growing up, my grandma always had Coke in the house. And then it's just sort of like doot, 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 through all these different things.
Yeah. Well,
Brains are
and
weird.
they are weird. And in probably maybe the last point to hit on here, because we're in all over today, because I didn't have a real focal point for this.
You mean
But
we like we connected topics all over the
We have
place.
totally connected topics all
It
over.
works.
But there's a really interesting exercise that the Huberman Lab did that it's a trauma writing protocol. And there are three questions, which am I going to be able to remember them now? But it's how to help your brain process and put things into order. And I've done a lot of this to kind of tone down my reactivity that I used to react to everything, which is fine, other than it was exhausting and really kind of mortifying to like break into tears like anything and everything everywhere
Mm,
over non-associated things.
mhm,
But it was like, what happened? What were your thought? So literal, what happened? Factual description, not, what did you feel about it? Or what were your emotions then? Were your emotions now? And what associations do you have to things that might be going on today? And the goal is to write things that may or may not make any sense because somehow your brain has associated them with that
mhm.
thought map network. And so the writing helps your brain process and make distinction between what was then, what was now, and sort of reprocess the memory.
Okay.
And maybe if we're ambitious, maybe I'll actually even figure out how to link to that in the show notes.
Well, and yeah, I feel like from the applied neuroscience side, it makes sense, but my brain can't explain it right now. So it makes
Yeah,
sense.
well, it's bringing the prefrontal cortex online to help the limbic system reprocess the trauma memories. Not all of
Yeah.
mine were trauma necessarily, but I seem to have a really strong emotional association. And somehow this helps my brain process the associative emotional impact of things that really, from the outside, to me even didn't really shouldn't have been linked in, but they were causing me stress because I was so reactive all the time to all things. And people were like, oh, just don't, just I couldn't ignore it. I mean,
Yeah.
I could hide it, but that's not the same as, oh, just don't have that emotion.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking through like how memories are captured and like you said, it's more than just, it's kind of like in college, they'll tell you, like, if you listen to music while you're studying, if you think about that song, you can recall the facts that you learned while you were studying.
Right.
Like,
The
all of the
associations
sensory
tied
pieces
in.
are connected,
Right. And
and
that sensory
attached to
stuff
the
is
memories.
so, yeah. Memory is not just a thought, it's all these different aspects, the time, the light, the sensory, the other
Is this,
associated
sorry,
thoughts. What?
is this why when I can't remember what I came into the room for, I have to go back to where I thought of I needed to go into the room and it reconnects and then
Oh,
I can
that's
go,
a
oh yeah, I was
fascinating,
going to do.
maybe. I have no idea. That's a really cool idea. Whether
Sorry,
or
that was
not
my, I was
that's
like,
okay.
wait, wait, is that why the aha moments are attached to you got to retrace your t steps to figure out what you were doing?
I know. If you find out, let me know, because that's a really interesting. I mean, it makes sense whether or not that's got the neuroscience behind it, but it seems fair
So,
guess.
well, I guess should we wrap it up then?
We should. It's like all of a sudden now our brains are like, okay, we're stopping. We got to pull in the
Now
neuroscience
we have
like
seven
next.
other topics to go
Now we have
look
to
up
talk
and
about all of the details and the concreteness because we missed that part because we were in emotional, much. I don't think we intentionally try to balance, but we do tend to try to balance the personal with oh, here's some
yes.
reasons why this happens, and we
Yes.
kind of skip that part this time. And so now my brain's like, oh, and here's why.
We need
And
the evidence base. Where is it?
so before we spend
Sorry.
another 45 minutes talking about random things, another topic we'll have to delve into is, why with for me, at least with ADHD, I can tell a lot about my emotional state based on how dramatic my wording is or what. So why do I
Interesting.
pick very dramatic words for things that, other people might describe in much more neutral terms?
Hmm. Interesting.
And on that note, I'm Amy with Creative Catapult Coaching, who's got a brain that's kind of flying all over the place today. And you can find me online at creativecatapultcoach.com, and that is essentially my handle for most of the things on social media.
And I'm Megan with Focus Like a Mother, and you can find me on all the social things at Focus Like a Mother, and you can also find me online at focuslikeamother.com. And this, I guess we can wrap up. This is the Control Alt Think podcast, Conversations with Neurodivergent Minds.
And Megan and I will catch you next time. Take care. Have a good week, life, month, non-linear
Whatever.
time frame until then.
Bye.